This is surprisingly the most reliable, cheapest, and perhaps best cheap car on the market, and it belongs to David?
Can you believe I'm a Ford guy now, Tommy?
So David is our go-to fixer. He builds everything. He's the most talented guy I know, and you're primarily a GM dude, right?
Yeah, and I was out here at Tumbleweed Ranch, and instead of bringing the GM truck, I brought the Ford. You know why?
Why?
Because it's fun to drive and it's good on gas.
Now in this video, we're going to tell you the story of this first-gen Ford Escape, the shocking number of miles on it, and why David is driving it. So David, how did you come across this vehicle?
So my son, my eldest, I have 4 boys. My oldest bought this brand new from the dealership right here in Colorado for him and his wife after he got married. And his father-in-law was the parts manager at the Ford dealership, and he knew he was looking for a car. And he said, "There's a lot of cars I would never sell you, but I got one on the lot that you should buy right now." And he's never regretted buying this Ford Escape.
So Brian bought this car new, and you've been driving it for how long now?
About a year.
So how many miles has the Morrow family put on this Escape?
Between him,
Yep.
his wife, his mother-in-law, and now me and my wife, it's got 275,000 miles.
Wow. So an all-original Escape with almost 300K.
That's the amazing part right there.
Yeah.
It's almost completely original.
And in this video, we're going to tell you what broke and what makes these cars so special. So David, why don't you pop the hood?
Okay.
And we'll talk about why Brian got a deal on this, because it kind of makes sense when you consider where we're located and what powers this vehicle.
Yeah, so it's a little unique in that it's just front-wheel drive. It's not the four-wheel drive version. And it is a 4-cylinder Mazda. I'm pretty sure it's Mazda engine and transmission. 5-speed manual that it gets great gas mileage. I think somewhere around 30 is what I've been getting. But the thing is fun to drive. I love driving this thing around. I mean, it's like my go-to now. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean, David, for a man who loves his big square body trucks,
Yeah.
seeing you in this '07 Escape is a little bit unnerving.
I know, I think so too. This was the last year of this model of Escape. So the cool thing about it is that all the bugs were worked out by that point in time.
So most of the Escapes you see on the road, David, at least that I see on the road, are the V6, 4-wheel drive, automatics.
Yeah.
And this was the 4-cylinder front-wheel drive manual. So it's probably why Brian got a little bit of a deal on it.
Yeah, it's not real desirable because.
Do you remember what he paid for it?
He paid $17,500.
$17,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
In '07.
And it looks like it's pretty much a base model, right? So
it was based, although it has electric windows and electric locks, but I mean, it has air conditioning, but there's not a whole lot that's extra on it. And being front-wheel drive, certainly you save all that extra wear and tear of the whole drive system.
Yeah.
But it gets around good in the snow. I mean,
for what it is, that's pretty good.
It is. I mean, I've been super happy with it. See, here's the crazy part. I called him up. I said, "Brian, tell me what you've done to this thing. I kind of like to know so I can tell Tommy." Tires, brakes, windshield wipers, no clutch, no transmission issues, no engine issues, no drivetrain issues. I mean, the only thing that I know is not working on it right now is the radio works, but the LCD screen does not work. So I don't know what station I'm on.
So you're saying 275,000 miles, the engine's never been out, head's never been off, original clutch.
Original clutch.
With 275,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
And now how did he use this thing?
Well, I'm using it for my commute. I mean, I'm 40 minutes here.
Driving around.
To your house. So instead of bringing the gas guzzling truck, I bring this.
You know, David, I think, the thing about these Escapes is they are very affordable. I mean, this, not to insult your ride, but this is probably a $2,000 car.
Probably, yeah,
but
if I'm lucky.
I really like how the design has aged. It's kind of like a Bronco Sport.
Yeah.
But for a tiny amount of money.
The boxiness, I like the boxiness because, I have a Honda CR-V now. And it looks like every other car on the highway.
Yeah.
And it's my wife's car. She drives it, but
Steel wheels.
I am not at all embarrassed to drive this car. I really like it.
So David, cosmetically, it's held up really well.
Yeah,
I am noticing a little bit
Of rust.
of rust. So what's the story there?
That's it. The other side as well.
Yep.
The wheel wells are getting rust and they kind of buckled out.
Now, is this a Colorado? It's always been in Colorado?
Always right here within, 50 miles.
And driven in the winter?
Driven in every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, driven every day.
How does
but
it
look, there's no tears. Look at the dash.
Wow.
The dash, and this car sat outside.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Never
a lot of its years they were apartment livers,
Wow.
lived in an apartment, and it sat outside. And it's remarkably, I got the seat dirty over there. That was my fault. But
I mean, what's amazing is
no cracks.
you know how well like the buttons have held up, right?
Yeah.
How well everything is still in place. Does it squeak or rattle a bunch?
No,
or is
although the window functions, the door lock functions, everything functions.
I like the white gauges actually.
I know, it's simple but easy to read.
I think those are pretty cool. And then there's your 5-speed manual.
Yeah.
Got like a little golf ball style shifter there. Feels pretty smooth.
Yeah, the only thing that's really worn out is the shifter
The
boot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not bad.
that's it.
And let's see how
That's it.
how this is the space in the back.
No rips, no tears, and he's got 3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, what's amazing, what I love about these Escapes is dimensionally by modern standards, they're really small. But look at the legroom,
Yeah.
right? 6 feet tall. Look at the headroom. Great headroom.
And you still got, almost 3 feet of space in the back,
Yeah,
too.
let's check out the space in the rear.
Yeah. And this is a nice function. You got the window comes up,
Glass, yeah.
and then,
Oh, David,
yeah, look at all that space.
look at that.
Yeah, we can have a little red pepper on our pizza tonight. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with it, David?
I am going to keep it.
Yeah, you're just going to drive it.
I mean, you can't sell it for, for what it's really worth. It'll go down the highway. The only knock I have on it is that you take it up in the hills and you put 2 or 3 people in here.
Slows down a little
It
bit.
struggles a little bit up the steep hills, but that doesn't bother me.
So what's the secret to 275,000 miles with no mechanical failure? Is it the service? Is it the engine transmission combo? What do you think is the secret?
I think it's the engine. I think that the Mazda 4-cylinder is a good one. I think that was key to it so long. The transmission was a good one. So that a lot of it, but Brian was really good about changing oil.
Yeah, just keep
having
it
it
up.
serviced. But
Basic
there's
maintenance.
not a lot to service. You got 1 diff and trans-mounted 4-cylinder. There's not a whole lot there.
Yeah, not a lot to go wrong.
But thing I think is remarkable is how well the interior has lasted, because all my cars, doesn't matter if my Dodge truck or my GM, the dash is always cracked. I think Ford was better in the plastic department than the other guys.
What about catalytic converter?
They got stolen.
It got stolen.
Yeah, that's how I got it, because his mother-in-law had the car, and it was sitting out in front of her house out in the sun, and like every day, because she had 2 cars at that point. And it got stolen, and she said, I don't want any more, give it to David. I got it, I put the catalytic converter on it, and
Been driving ever since.
been driving ever since and loving
Well,
it.
should we take it for a spin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to drive it?
I would like to drive
Okay,
it actually.
here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm more excited to drive this than most of the new cars I drive, David. It's funny how that works. Here, I'll take that camera from you.
Okay.
So walk me through some of the features in this vehicle.
Well, being a simple car is not a whole lot to it. I love dials and buttons, and it's got a lot of them.
David, I am noticing one thing you're missing.
But
275,000 miles with no cruise control.
oh, yeah, it doesn't have cruise control.
The only feature it's missing.
But the buzzer still works to tell you to put your seatbelts on. It annoys the heck out of me.
I'm glad that's the part that still works. So power locks, power mirrors, power windows, right?
Yeah.
So pretty well equipped. AC work? You want to take the camera? AC still works?
Pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah, turn that radio down.
So that's the only part that died.
yeah,
Let's see.
let's see.
You want to give it a go?
Turn on AC. Let's see.
See if it comes back to life. So here's what I wanted to prove with this video though, David,
Okay.
is a lot of folks think that if you want a reliable car, that's used, you have to.
on the road,
We're gonna
yeah.
take it on the road.
Yeah,
huh,
take
David?
it out on the road. You're gonna love this thing.
If you want to buy a used reliable car, you have to buy it from Honda or Toyota. And I see that comment a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or Nissan to some extent.
Yeah.
But, and they do make a reliable car, but you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
If you want an 07 RAV4 or
You're gonna-
CRV,
You're gonna pay for it.
you're going to pay for it. I mean, even with higher mileage, those are still $5,000-$6,000 cars.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
this is probably a $2,000 car. And it's proven itself to be arguably as reliable as its Japanese competition.
Yeah. So right now I have a 17 CRV
Okay.
that my wife drives,
Yep.
and we'll take it on the highway. It gets 33 miles to the gallon.
Okay.
Okay. It's got that little 1 point something
turbo?
5, yeah.
Turbo?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quick and all, but this almost matches it on miles per gallon.
It's surprisingly fun to go.
And the fun factor is so much more. I mean, the fun factor on this thing is awesome.
The manual makes this a much more fun vehicle.
Yeah, it does.
And now, I don't know for sure, and someone will for sure know in the comments, if you could get the manual with the all-wheel drive.
Oh,
Because that would be a really cool setup
Yeah.
to get.
yeah,
But look, I mean, this feels like, in some ways, a classic car that you have the huge windows, right, and the low belt line. So it's easy to see out of,
Yeah.
great visibility. I mean, it's basic, but it's if you just want a car to hold a lot of people, to bring your kids to school, to commute around in, it's pretty good, huh?
it is. That's why I said I'm in love with this little thing, and I have no intention of getting rid of it.
And it does okay in the winter, even with the
Yeah,
front-wheel drive?
Nice thing is I have lots of choices.
You have a lot of four-wheel drive vehicles.
Yeah, so if
Choose
it snows deep, I've got a vehicle to take.
You got some options.
But yeah, as far as, just a fun car that gets good gas mileage, it gets me around, and yeah, this is it.
Does pretty well.
Yeah.
You got
Goose
airbags
it.
too?
Goose it now.
Full throttle. She rev out pretty good. 3,000 RPM. 4. Oh, David! Look at the power. That's not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Not bad
Isn't
at
that
all.
fun?
Yeah, actually, it is a fun little guy to drive, and the steering is good, and the
Yeah.
suspension. Look, for 276,000 miles now, I thought the suspension would feel like.
Well, I did put tie rod ends on it.
You did?
Recently.
Did it make a big
I
difference?
did that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only, and that wasn't a major deal. That's pretty simple.
radio
so-
works too.
Yeah,
You got
just
your
the
tunes going?
LED screen doesn't work.
The,
So you
the
see that?
LCD, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not a
screen
big
doesn't
deal.
work, but
So, David, would you recommend this car to somebody?
I would with this engine,
Yeah.
with the Mazda engine.
I will say, though, I had a friend in college. He still has it. He has a first-gen Ford Escape with the V6.
Does he? Yeah, the
and-
Ford V6.
Yeah, and all-wheel drive.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say he's at like 210,000.
They're good. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Well, I can't knock that one because I've never driven it.
I mean, the weak point, I think, from
Transmission. Yeah.
from the little research I've done,
Yeah.
talking to, I actually had a lot of friends who had these. And like, when I graduated high school in 2015, this was like kind of the go-to college car.
Yeah.
Like the early 2000s Ford Escape.
Yeah.
And like the powertrains and the bodies would hold up, but the transmissions would kind of start to go bad.
Right. Yeah. That's what I've heard too. So, it's a good choice if you don't mind lacking on power and you don't mind shifting. This is a good little go-to.
I'm very impressed, David. For a little runaround,
Yeah.
what a great little car, huh? And the manual
agree.
makes it a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
All right, dude. Well, thanks. The buzzer still works.
Yep.
Here, I got to get a shot of the mileage
Okay.
to prove to people.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Zoom on in. 275,987.
Yep.
Well, dude, thank you for letting us show off your beautiful little Escape here.
Glad I could.